Welcome, tennis fans, sports enthusiasts, and everyone tuning in from across the globe to what is rapidly becoming the most talked about showdown of the grass court season. You read the title, and let me tell you, it is not an exaggeration. Whole Russia shakes. Alexandra Eala, the pride of the Philippines, the 21-year-old phenom who is redefining Asian tennis, is set to lock horns with Russia's own Alina Charaeva in a monumental second-round clash at the 2026 Lexus Birmingham Open. This is a round of 16, but make no mistake, it has the electricity, the tension, and the sheer narrative weight of a Grand Slam final. We are standing at a critical juncture in the 2026 WTA calendar. The clay courts of Roland Garros have been swept, the red dust has settled, and the tennis world has migrated to the pristine, lightning-fast lawns of Great Britain. The Birmingham Open, a historic WTA 125 event held at the legendary Edgbaston Priory Club, is a premier proving ground for players looking to fine-tune their weapons before descending upon the hallowed grounds of Wimbledon. And right now, all eyes are on the top seed of the tournament, the world number 37, Alexandra Eala. She has arrived in Birmingham with a statement to make, and her opening round performance was nothing short of a massacre. Taking on Australia's Priscilla Hahn, a capable and dangerous opponent on her day, Eala needed barely 59 minutes to deliver a 6-0, 6-2 masterclass. It was a flawless exhibition of baseline aggression, pinpoint serving, and a relentless mentality that left the crowd in absolute awe. But waiting for her across the net in this highly anticipated second round is Alina Charaeva. The 24-year-old Russian, currently ranked 130 in the world, is not here to be a stepping stone. She is here to disrupt the narrative. Charaeva has been a silent assassin in the lower tiers of the WTA circuit this year, claiming her first WTA 125 title at the Dow Tennis Classic in Midland back in February. And just like Eala, Charaeva opened her Birmingham campaign with a ruthless display, dismantling Greek Minin 6-3, 6-1, conceding only a single service game and converting 5 break points with clinical precision. This match is not just about advancing to the quarterfinals. It is about a fascinating clash of styles, a history of bad blood on the court, and the psychological warfare that comes when two players intimately know each other's games. They have met twice before. Their head-to-head record is deadlocked at 1 match apiece. Charaeva drew first blood years ago in 2020 on the ITF circuit in Spain, a gritty straight-sets victory that proved the Russians' early pedigree. But Eala flipped the script in the most dramatic fashion possible earlier this year. In January, at the Philippine Women's Open, playing in front of a roaring, passionate home crowd in Manila, Eala avenged that old defeat by dismantling Charaeva 6-1, 6-2 in a round of 32. It was a statement victory. It was Eala looking Charaeva in the eye and showing her just how much she had evolved. Now, the battlefield shift from the hard courts of Asia to the lush, unpredictable grass of England. The stakes are higher. The pressure is immense. Eala is the top seed with a target on her back. Charaeva is a dangerous underdog with absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. The echoes of their past encounters are ringing in the ears of the fans, and as the clock ticks closer to their court time, the anticipation is reaching an absolute fever pitch. Will the Filipina superstar continue her march toward grass court title, or will the resilient Russian pull off the upset of the tournament and send shockwaves around the globe? Let us dive deep into the ultimate breakdown of this epic encounter. To truly understand the magnitude of this matchup, we have to look at the incredible evolution of Alexandra Eala over the last 24 months. At just 21 years old, Eala is no longer just a promising talent from the Rafa Nadal Academy. She is a bona fide force on the WTA Tour, currently sitting at a career-high ranking of world number 37. Her 2026 season has been a testament to her versatility and her relentless work ethic. We saw her explode out of the gates on the hard courts this year. She reached the semifinals in Auckland, a massive WTA 250 event. She backed that up with brilliant quarterfinal runs at the WTA 500 in Abu Dhabi and the WTA 1000 in Dubai, proving she can trade heavy blows with the absolute elite of women's tennis. She followed that up with a solid round of 16 finishes at the Sunshine Double in Indian Wells and Miami. But then came the clay season, the traditional European dirt swing, which brought a mixed bag of results to the Filipina. She showed flashes of brilliance with round of 16 finishes at the Upper Austria Ladies' Linz and the prestigious Madrid Open. However, the grueling, heavy conditions of clay ultimately took their toll, leading to slightly disappointing round of 32 exits in Rome, Strasbourg, and the French Open just a couple of weeks ago. But here's the crucial takeaway. Alexandra Eala's game is tailor-made for faster surfaces. The transition from the slow, high-bouncing clay of Paris to the slick, low-bouncing grass of Birmingham is exactly the palate cleanser she needed. Let's talk about grass court tennis for a moment. It is the most specialized surface in the sport. The ball skids. It stays remarkably low. Movement is treacherous. Players cannot slide into their shots the way they do on clay. You need a compact swing. You need exceptional hand-eye coordination. And most importantly, you need proactive aggression. You cannot wait for your opponent to make a mistake on grass. You have to take time away from them. And Alexandra Eala has proven she has the blueprint for this. Let us not forget her phenomenal grass court campaign in 2025, where she posted an incredible 10-5 win-loss record on the surface. She made massive waves by reaching the final of the prestigious Eastbourne International, a WTA 500 event, where she narrowly lost a thrilling 3-set finale to Maya Joint. Eala currently boasts a dominant 66.7% win rate on grass in her professional career. Her lefty serve, heavily disguised and sharply angled, slides away from right-handed opponents on the ad court, pulling them completely off the screen and opening up the entire court for her lethal forehand. Against Priscilla Hahn in the first round here in Birmingham, Eala was striking the ball with terrifying authority. She took the ball early, completely neutralizing Hahn's defensive slices, and hit winners from all corners of the court. When Eala is striking the ball this cleanly on grass, she is arguably one of the top 10 most dangerous players in the world. But now, we must turn our attention to the challenger, Alina Charaeva, a name that might not be on the marquee of every Grand Slam, but a player whose grit, resilience, and tactical intelligence make her an absolute nightmare to play against, especially on a fast surface. Ranked 130 in the world, the 24-year-old Russian represents the grueling, blue-collar work ethic of the WTA Tour. Charaeva has spent years grinding on the ITF and WTA 125 circuits, learning how to win ugly, how to survive, and how to exploit the microscopic weaknesses in her opponents. And this year, that relentless grind has finally started paying massive dividends. Charaeva's 2026 season has been arguably the best of her career. She holds a 19-12 win-loss record, matching Eala's 19 wins on the year. She captured the title at the Dow Tennis Classic in Midland, a massive confidence booster that proves she has the mental fortitude to close out tournaments. But what makes Charaeva so dangerous in this specific matchup in Birmingham is her playing style. Unlike the heavy topspin merchants who struggle to adapt to grass, Charaeva hits a remarkably flat ball. She drives through the court. On a hardcore clay, those flat shots can sometimes sit up nice in the strike zone, but on grass, a flat ball is absolutely lethal. It stays incredibly low, forcing the opponent to bend their knees to an agonizing degree, scraping the ball off their shoelaces. Charaeva demonstrated this to perfection in her opening round destruction of Greet Minin. Minin is an experienced competitor, but she was completely suffocated by Charaeva's relentless depth and flat trajectory. Charaeva won 6-3, 6-1, a scoreline that speaks volumes about her current form. She was virtually untouchable on serve, giving up only one service game in the entire match, and she was ruthlessly efficient on return, converting 5 break points. When you are serving that well and return with that much pressure, you are going to be a massive problem for anyone, even the top seed. Now, let us analyze the tactical battleground of this impending clash. The head-to-head history is the psychological undercurrent that will dictate the early stages of this match. When Charaeva beat Eala back in 2020, Eala was just a teenager, still developing her physical strength and tactical maturity. Charaeva bullied her in that match. But the Alexandra Eala that stepped onto the court in Manila earlier this year was a completely different animal. Eala blasted Charaeva off the court, 6-1, 6-2. The Filipina used her heavy lefty forehand to pin Charaeva deep in her backhand corner, opening up the court and finishing points at the net. Eala dictated the tempo from the very first point, never allowing the Russian to establish her flat, rhythmic baseline game. So, what is the strategy for Alina Charaeva today? If the Russian wants to cause the upset that will shake the tennis world, she cannot allow Eala to dictate the baseline rallies. Charaeva must serve aggressively, targeting the Eala backhand, and look for any short ball to attack down the line. She has to keep the ball as low as possible, utilizing her flat ground strokes to deny Eala the height she needs to wind up that massive forehand. Furthermore, Charaeva needs to mix up the pace. Grass rewards a slice backhand, a shot that skids and dies on the turf. If Charaeva can employ the slice effectively, drawing Eala forward into uncomfortable volleying positions, she can disrupt the Filipina's rhythm. Mentally, Charaeva has to erase the memory of the Manila beatdown. She has to remember that she has beaten Eala before, and she has to treat this match as a blank slate on a neutral surface. For Alexandra Eala, the game plan is much more straightforward, but relies entirely on execution. She is the better player. She is the top seed. She has the superior weapons. Eala needs to dominate on her own serve. Her lefty slice serve out wide on the ad court is her get-out-of-jail-free card. It is nearly impossible to return cleanly on grass. Once she secures the serve, she needs to step inside the baseline and take time away from Charaeva. Eala cannot afford to get dragged into long defensive rallies where Charaeva's flat hitting can dictate the outcome. Eala needs to play first-strike tennis, a heavy return, a deep aggressive cross-court forehand, and a willingness to move forward and finish the point at the net. Eala also has a psychological advantage. She destroyed Charaeva just a few months ago. If Eala can start fast, break Charaeva early in the first set, the doubts will inevitably creep back into the Russian's mind. Eala has the weight of a nation on her shoulders. The entire Philippines is watching, but she has proven time and time again that she thrives under that spotlight. Let us also consider the broader implications of this match. The Lexus Birmingham Open offers $225,000 in prize money, but more importantly, it offers crucial WTA ranking points. For Eala, solidifying her position inside the top 40 is vital for her seeding at Wimbledon. A deep run here guarantees her a more favorable draw at the All-England Club, potentially helping her avoid the massive names like Swiatek, Sabalenka, or Rybakina in the early rounds. For Charaeva, sitting at 130 in the world, every single point is a matter of professional survival. A win over the world number 37 would not only be the biggest victory of her season, but it will provide a massive surge up the rankings, bringing her closer to that coveted top 100 milestone, which guarantees direct entry into Grand Slam main draws. The desperation of the underdog versus the ambition of the favorite. It is the purest narrative in sports. As we look at the broader context of the WTA Tour, the grass court season is a notoriously fickle beast. It is a sprint, lasting barely a month, leaving players with very little margin for error. You do not have the luxury of playing yourself into form over several weeks. You either have the grass court instinct or you do not. Based on their respective careers, Alexandra Eala clearly possesses that instinct. Her run to the Eastbourne final last year was a revelation. It proved that her heavy topspin, derived from her Spanish clay court training, could be flattened out and weaponized on the turf. Her footwork, often a challenge for players moving from clay to grass, is remarkably precise. She takes those essential, rapid adjustment steps that allow her to stay balanced when the ball takes an unpredictable skip off a damaged patch of grass. Conversely, Charaeva is stepping into somewhat uncharted territory. Despite her age and experience, Charaeva has played shockingly few professional matches on grass throughout her career. Prior to this tournament, she had only played 3 official grass court matches, holding a 2-1 record. Her victory over Minin was brilliant, but taking out a seasoned top 40 player who actually relishes the surface is an entirely different mountain to climb. The lack of grass court mileage could become glaringly apparent if the match gets tight. When the pressure mounts, players default to their ingrained habits. On a hard court, Charaeva's default is to grind and hit flat and deep. On grass, if you get tense and stop moving your feet, that flat ball will find the bottom of the net in a heartbeat. And let us talk about the sheer physical demands of this encounter. While grass points are generally shorter than clay points, the physical toll is localized differently. The constant bending, the sudden stops and starts, the explosive lateral lunges, It absolutely shreds the glutes, the lower back, and the hamstrings. Both women have played heavy schedules this year. Eala has already played 33 singles matches in 2026. Charaeva has played 31. The player who recovers better, who manages their energy reserves during the match, and who maintains their explosive power in the latter stages of the second or potentially third set, will have a massive advantage. Eala, at 21, theoretically has the edge in youthful recovery, but Charaeva's extensive history of grinding out three-set wars on the ITF circuit means she is entirely comfortable suffering on a tennis court. This is what makes tennis the ultimate gladiator sport. There is no coaching from the sidelines, no teammates to pass the ball to when you're having a bad day, and no clock to run down when you are in the lead. It is just you, your racket, your opponent, and the lines on the court. For Alexandra Eala, this match is a test of her status as an emerging elite. When you are the top seed, every player in the draw views you as their ultimate prize. You are the scalp they want on their resume. Eala has to embrace that pressure. She has to walk out onto that court at Edgbaston Priory Club with the swagger of a champion. She needs to let the racket do the talking and enforce her will upon the match from the umpire's very first call of play. For Alina Charaeva, this is the moment to write her own headline. She has lived in the shadows of the Russian tennis machine, a nation that constantly produces top-tier talent. She is not a household name like Kasatkina or Samsonova, but she has the heart of a lion. If she can drag Eala into a dogfight, if she can frustrate the Filipina with her flat, skidding ground strokes and turn the match into a chaotic, scrappy affair, she has a legitimate path to victory. She needs to make Eala uncomfortable. She needs to force the 21-year-old into overhitting, and to try and hit low-percentage highlight reel winners instead of playing disciplined, high-percentage grass court tennis. As we wrap up this extensive deep dive, we are left with a mouth-watering prospect. The pristine lawns of Birmingham are ready. The umpires are set. The fans in the United Kingdom, the millions waking up in the Philippines, and the die-hard supporters in Russia are all converging on this single, defining moment. To summarize, we have Alexandra Eala, the explosive, left-handed prodigy, the top seed looking to build a massive wave of momentum heading into Wimbledon. She has the weapons, she has the recent head-to-head dominance, and she has a proven, highly successful track record on grass. On the other side, we have Alina Charaeva, the hardened Russian veteran of the lower tours, enjoying the best season of her life, coming off a spectacular first-round victory, and wielding a flat, dangerous game style that could be absolute poison on a fast surface. My final analysis? The momentum, the pedigree, and the sheer firepower all lean heavily toward the Filipina. Alexandra Eala's ability to dictate play with her forehand, combined with the lethal advantage of her lefty serve on the grass, makes her an incredibly tough puzzle for Charaeva to solve. While Charaeva will undoubtedly fight for every single point and will make Eala work for it, the top seed's superior court coverage and finishing ability at the net should ultimately prove to be the deciding factors. I expect a highly competitive first set as both players find their footing. But Eala's class should shine through in the critical moments, allow her pull away, and secure her spot in the Birmingham Open quarterfinals. But that is the beauty of live sports. The script is written on the court, not in the broadcast booth. We want to hear from you, the fans. Who do you have winning this massive second-round clash? Are you backing the Filipina phenom Alexandra Eala to continue her march to the title? Or do you believe the Russian grinder Alina Charaeva is about to pull off the shock of the tournament? Drop your predictions, your scorelines, and your tactical breakdowns in the comment section down below. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on those notification bells so you never miss a moment of our elite deep dive tennis coverage. We will be tracking this match point by point, and we will be right back here to break down all the fallout, the drama, and the highlights as the road to Wimbledon heats up. Until then, enjoy the tennis, embrace the drama, and we will see you next time.